Hi all, welcome back to part 3 of this Selenium hybrid framework series. In part 2, we converted a simple script into a test case using test-ng. We use test annotation and we also used the assertions. In this video, we are going to see how to create a base class. In base class, we will be creating the base class to keep our reusable test steps or those steps which we require to execute in every test case. So before executing a test case, we have to execute certain piece of code. That piece of code we will be keeping in the base class. At the same time, the code which we need to execute after the test case is completed, that piece also we will be keeping in our base class. So without wasting much time, let us begin. So in my shopping test case package, I will create another class and I will name this class as base class. Now this base class, we will be implementing the oops concept inheritance, and therefore this base class will be our parent class, and I will be extending that into our login test. Extends base class. Okay, all right. Now in the previous video, as we saw that this particular piece of code, like I am declaring WebDriver till launching the application, this piece of code I will require for each and every test case, and therefore I will move this particular code into my base class. So how will I do that? Let us check. So I will cut this code and I will paste it into my base class. Now inside my base class, here I am going to create one method, public void, and the name of method will be launch application. So and I want this method to be executed before every class, and therefore I will give a new annotation here as before class. Let me import it. Now in similar way, this driver.quit also I want to be executed after every class. So I will move that to the base class and let me use a method close application. And here I will use annotation after class. Let me import that as well. Okay. Now in this entire code, you would see that we have hard coded the values of username, password, and even the application URL. So let me declare variables and keep those values into those variables. So in base class only I am going to do that. So public string URL is equal to, this is my URL. So I will give URL here. Similarly for username and password, public string uname is equal to, I am going to use this username and then password this is our password, secret sauce, and that I'm going to keep it here. Similarly, we have this web driver, so I will give it as public static web driver. Right, so let me just replace this username and password here. Okay, let's check quickly. pwd uname URL we have used here. Alright, so this is the base class that we have created. Now let us see how it will get executed. So we have created one base class. Into the base class we have declared all our variables, and we have initialized those. We have created two methods, launch application and close application, with before class and after class annotations respectively. Launch application will be executed every time before executing any class, and quit or close application will be executed after every class. So in our case, when we will try to execute this login test, first of all it will execute launch application, then it will execute this test login, and then it will execute this close application. And since we have extended this base class here, it will inherit all the methods which we have and the variables which we have declared in this base class. So let us execute our login test. Run as, I will run as test-ng. So first of all it will execute the launch application, which will open the application, and then it will execute test login, which is about entering username, password, and verifying whether the product's label is visible or not. And it is executing as expected. So what we have done in this particular test case, here you can see one test run and one pass, and what is executed is this login test login. Okay, so this launch application and close application are not the test cases. The test case is this. Okay, and only before method and after methods, where before class and after class executed before and after this particular test case. So this is how we have created the base class. Now this was the only part that I am going to cover in this particular video. However, now if you see in this test case, all these web elements and all these methods, whatever we are using, like send keys, username, etc., all we are using in this particular test case. Now if I start keeping all these elements, methods, etc., everything into my test case, then maintenance becomes an issue, and therefore we are going to implement something called as page object model, in which we will be creating different Java classes for every page or every web page that we see in our application, and we keep all our locators or our web elements and the associated methods into those pages. And how to implement that, we are going to look it into our next video. So bye till then, and keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.